Ah, yes. Alright folks, welcome back to the new motorcycle garage. As you can see by that intro, we've got some new toys, bits and pieces. We've also got the bits back from the Vapour Blaster today, so we should be in a place to start progressing with painting certain parts, painting the frame. It's a little bit milder here, which is nicer, so we'll hopefully get good conditions just to set up a bit of a mock spray booth in the garage and get some of these bits painted. The engine crane that you saw there as well, that's going to be useful for obviously mounting the bottom end. As much as I quite fancy trying to pick that up and paint it at the same time, probably don't have the strength to do that. So if we mount that on the engine hoist, it'll allow it to just be suspended and we can get a good coat of paint all around and do it all in 1 or 2 passes. So see how that goes as well. What else has progressed since the last time? I managed to get some sheet steel. Being a tight arse, I didn't want to pay 4 times as much for a tiny little sheet to be delivered by one of these metals for you companies or something. So there's a steel place along the road for me, and that's where I got all my steel from before. So really handy. So I just popped along with my car, the 4x4, and tried to get, I went and got a sheet of 1mm steel. So far more than I need. As you can see by the video, the guys that worked there weren't convinced that I should cut it up, and we just rolled it up and shoved it in the car. So that was probably one of the more dangerous things I've done. But well, this is a bit unconventional, with a sheet of 1mm steel folded up in my car. Hey, I'm not being decapitated, so here we are, ready to get those little brackets finished. So quick high level summary: we'll try and get those brackets cut, finished, put into the side panels, which we were working on last time. So that's where we ended up leaving it. So get some neat panels cut, then I can start with the preps and the primer and all the shit that goes on here to make it look pretty. I was actually thinking, how do I make this edge nice? But what I was thinking is getting to some of that U-shaped rubber that's the right thickness, that'll just go around and give me a nice, probably a more professional finish. Even though they will be getting sprayed anyway, but I think that'll be quite a nice finish. What else? Yeah, with the engine crane, we'll get that set up. We'll have a look at the Vapour blasted parts. We'll get this block preps done on that, and then get that picked up and held suspended. See what else we need to do for the final preps for this engine before we start spraying it, in terms of masking and just generally degreasing, cleaning, making sure we're all happy before committing to spraying that. And yeah, see how the video progresses. We may cut it there, we may keep going. So onwards, I shall set up a time lapse, get some of these brackets cut. I've already cut some of the steel using my little nibbler tool. I think I bought this a few years ago from a Lidl special, middle of Lidl special, which has done the job nicely, but leaves all these shitty little bits of metal everywhere. So I need to go clean that up first, clean up my workbench area, and then start making the rest of these brackets. So set up a wee time lapse. Hopefully that's okay, and then we'll get some bits out of the car, the Vapour blasted bits, and have a little look at them as well. Quite happy with how those have turned out, so hopefully they've given me a good foundation for spraying on, and we can start progressing, moving things towards a little bit closer towards the finish line at least. So stay tuned, enjoy. Okay, so a little sidetracked. Didn't actually get sidetracked yesterday. That just took way longer than I thought it was gonna. The little niggly brackets. I forgot about the tool that I made for allowing my band saw to be used as a vertical saw, which is quite cool, especially when you're using thin steel. This steel here, it's just 1 mil, so it's pretty easy to use and cut with that. So, but it's still strong enough for the purposes that I need. Now that I've got 2 meters of it, I need to try and figure some other wee projects. But so plan now is to get those mounted in place on the mudguard, sorry, on the side panels. But what else have I been doing? So frame has come back from vapor blasting. It's mostly in pretty good shape. I think what I might there's a little bit here. So there was a hole that I knew about initially, and I'd had it welded years ago by someone that knew what they were doing with a welder. But just with the vapor blasting process, this bit here doesn't actually support anything. God, my beard's so weird. Doesn't actually support anything structural, but I want to have a little hole in the frame. So I've been playing chase the hole around the frame with the welder, but I think it's sorted now. And there was also another little bit on the underside here where I don't know what had happened. Again, there was a repair needed. Let's see if we can. So I made a little patch. I didn't record this, but I made a little patch for that. I previously silicone brazed it, and it was okay, and it was strong enough, but the host metal wasn't that strong. So again, when John's done his bit with the vapor blasting, whilst it's a more gentle than full outright sandblasting, it still left a bit of just a wee bit of holes there as well. So for that bit, I wanted to reinforce that strength of that. So I built a little patch, made a little patch, and then put that on and welded it on, and just smoothing it as well. So I guess with that, the frame, plan to obviously paint it. So I'm just wandering backwards and forwards, but I do plan to paint this rather than powder coat it. So I think what I'll find is these little bits where just imperfections in the frame itself, just due to its age or whatever. For the most part, it's in really good shape. This is an odd bit if you run your finger over. I need to have a little think here as to, I just want to put some filler on that, because it's actually an indent rather than I don't know what it is either. But anyway, an anomaly in the frame. It's an indent rather than something that I can grind down. So do I just fill that just to give it a nice smooth finish, along with any of the other bits on the frame. So need to get my head around that process and how I want that to look. But it looks good. The guy John, I'll put his details in for anyone in the northeast of Scotland. He is good, pretty reasonable. Not got the invoice yet, but I'll tell you what it is once I get it all in the next video. But does a good job, and he primes it as well, because a lot of the stuff here, if you vapor blast it and take it back to the bare metal, it'll flash over really quick. And if you want to put some kind of oil or something to stop it flashing, then that's going to make painting a bit of a ball ache as well. So they've got the facility just to do a quick coat of primer at that point as well. It's fine for me, just grind the primer away and try and sort these little bits out. I knew I was going to have to do that anyway, so, but it's good to see the frame again. So the engine lift arrived, tucked away over there, so I need to get that rigged up. And then I'm thinking, again, just find a point on the frame, maybe put a metal bar through that I can just support this up, and then spray it properly. But onwards, that'll be later in the video. But so I'm going to go tidy those up, and then I'll see what time is like, whether I can just get started on mounting those little side panel bits as well. So another montage of some sorts. Enjoy. Oh. Piss. Okay, I think I had that time warp the wrong way around. But anyway, not important. What is these little rivets I'm using, which are, they're like chamfered, which countersunk, which means that when I put them in here, all I have to do is pop a little, get a little countersink drill, and it's they're meant to make them flush with the surface. So unfortunately I've ran out. Woo! Great timing. Well, I haven't ran out. I've ran out of the size I've been using, the 4mm ones, which are quite nice. I do have some 3.2 allegedly, but it's just not as much. There's not as much material on them. So, and I don't want to use non-countersunk ones because I think it leaves me with the issue of having to deal with more material. So bollock chops here is going to have to wait until I get some more, but that's the difference between the two of them. I'd rather use this one because in my mind the more material holding these mounting points onto this, the less likely that my hard-earned side panels, which I've agonised over and probably the majority of my YouTube channel career over, don't end up falling off and lying on the floor. But you get the gist. What I've got is those bits on the frame. There's two mounting points I've already put in the frame that will tie in here, and then there's a point in the battery. Cast your mind back to sometime a year ago or even longer, where we ended up mounting these different from what we'd planned for the Panther build. So, oh yeah, the Panther build. Anyway, so plan now is obviously order some more. What do you call them? Oh god, rivets, pop rivets. What was I calling them? Anyway, doesn't matter. Pop rivets. Order some more countersunk pop rivets, and then we will get the other side panel done. But I guess I could start looking at, god, these aren't that countersunk at all. Anyway, I can start looking at filling these a little bit and then sanding this down, and then probably getting a layer of filler on the top just to make it maybe like a this diamond dolphin glaze stuff can put on the top, and then, well, I think what I might do initially is just use initial body filler, get this real nice and smooth, sand it down till you can't feel anything, it's a real nice smooth shape underneath, and then that'll give the painter something to laugh at when I hand it to him and he decides to do it anyway. Oh, for fuck's sake. Excuse me. Little old perfectionist me. I was agonising over the fact that this little bracket doesn't sit flush with this. This is what I deal with. This is my issue. A lot of people would just leave that. They probably should. You should never see it. And it's a characteristic of the bike. However, and now I've... anyway, I'm going to cut this off and do it again. But not on camera. Ta-da! Almost done, yay, but not really. Okay, this may look like it's 6 weeks from when I left the last video, and that's because it is. However, we've got new lights, which is good, and we've got all the bits back from the Vapour Blaster now. The frame, tank, ooh, and I've been plodding along with some other jobs. So, side panels are now lined up, and they've got all their mountings in them on both. I got all the pop rivets in, the countersunk pop rivets. A little bit of difficulty. I ended up, that one that I was debating about redoing, I ended up redoing, but I'm quite happy with how firm these are now. Happy how firm I am. But the next point for these was obviously to try and get them mounted, which we've done a fair bit of work to, getting them on here, like that. But there was always the bottom bit, trying to get that sorted for, because it mounted braces off the battery box. So I was going to paint this as soon as it came back, but twofold. I want to do it in a video, but the reason I've not done it in a video yet is because I need to do a bit of filling, because it's just the way that the what's the exposure? It's just the way that the frame has started to show that some little imperfections that will end up being on the actual frame if I don't fill that, and then before I prime it. Hello. Come on in. I'm still convinced the only reason people watch this is because of you. Good boy. Right. Still not managed to get lights over that side. The only reason I'm closed the door is because it's so loud, but I'll open that again while I'm doing work. But so yeah, I need to do a little bit more work getting battery box sorted, getting my mountain pegs probably returned on a lathe. I need to get on a lathe and get these returned. So the reason I've not done the frame, finished and painted the frame yet, is because of some of the extra work needing done on that. So chipping away at that, and also I didn't want to have a frame done that was just going to sit there. So I absolutely will paint it in the near future, whilst especially we've got this warm spell. It's like been 24 degrees today, so been out on the mighty Indian this morning. So yeah, so that's fine. So I need to fill the area around these pop rivets as well, and then I'll put a coat of dolphin glaze over the whole lot, which should give it a nice finish. Pretty sure dolphin glaze and fiberglass work together. I've already checked that out, and then I'm just going to hopefully have those put to the side. Well, I'll drill the final holes for mounting, and will you stop? And then just kidding, don't ever stop. Then I will yeah, put them aside. So that's pretty good. What else? So yeah, generally I just reclaimed some of my garage. It was getting a bit out of control, a few DIY projects. So I think I'm in a pretty good place now to paint when the time comes. So I just need to do those few more jobs on the frame just to make sure that we're perfectly happy. And same with the bottom end. Same painting the bottom end. I got all the other bits back from the Vapour Blaster as well, all the engine bits. So quite happy with how that's looking as well. That's come up really, really nice. I'll get a wee picture to put into the there you go, you can see it. So so yeah, probably final few things for this video at least will be get those bits filled, and hopefully that will be enough. Then we can make a plan to start getting the engine sprayed and then the engine put back together. It'd be nice to get to a place where I've got a rolling chassis with like painted frame, painted engine, rebuilt engine in it, and just then I can start looking at just having it on the ground and not worrying about, well, I need to, thinking out loud, ignore me. I am going to the bike shed soon. Well, the bike shed show down in London Tobacco Docks at the end of the month with Sugarly Shed and the guy Gary Wallace, and there's a few other Scottish contingent heading down. So if anyone's gonna go along to that, then let me know. Be cool to see you. If you're a follower, kick my ass as to this quick build taking a little bit longer than initially planned. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you're going. Let's go get these last little bits done and we shall square this one away for next time, but I'll catch up with you before we close it out. You okay? Majestic beast. Oh. I think I may have buggered up my ratios here, seeing as the dolphin's waves is literally setting. Oh my god! That's so exothermic. It's so goddamn hot. Oh well. Maybe I'll... Look at that. What an umpty. I know you're meant to put hardener in it, so... Ah, god, that's so hot. Interesting. Right, well, fuck me, I guess. Let's try again. Okay, that was quite interesting. I still don't think I got the ratio right for the second amount, but if it sets up, it's fine. I've just iced it like a really bad cake. Reason being, the fiberglass, one of the molds was actually really smooth. That's the first one I did. That was actually okay, but the second one's got all these 3D printed layer lines that you can see from the mold. So I want to see if I can get rid of those. So that's hence the reason it's like iced. And I've just gone to town on it. So it doesn't look very good now. Hopefully it looks okay. I'm going to let that cure. It doesn't need to cure overnight, but I am not going to sit here and deal with this when there's other shit to be getting done with. So in the house, i.e. drinking beer and eating. So let's have a little look at this tomorrow and see what we're dealing with. Probably should have put some on the frame as well. Do it tomorrow. Catch you. Okay, so we are in the house. I'm editing this video at the moment and realised that I am fast running out of time before I head to the bike shed show at the end of the week, and I don't really want to prolong putting this video out anymore. I'd rather start a fresh one when I come back. So you can see in this little bit, little clip there, that I've actually sanded those side panels down and they got rid of all the filler, and it looks really, really good. I had to do the odd bit again, so it's just been a bit of an iterative process getting those smooth. Same with the frame. I've not got a video of that, so the next thing I'll do when I get back is just make sure that we'll give it an update as to how all of that's looking, but I didn't really have time. I've run out of time. Work's kicking my ass, and yeah, I want to get this out and ticked off so I can start fresh when I get back. So on the bike shed, heading down with Ewan on Thursday night, travelling through the night, which was going to be really fun. Sleep deprived, but where the fuck is the lens? There. And yeah, so that's going to be fun and stressful getting his bike down the road and unloaded, but once we're all packed up, we will be at the VIP thing on the Friday night, and we will also be kicking about the show on the Saturday and the Sunday. So anyone who's going to be there, put a message in the comments. Let me know, come say hello, and we can grab a beer or whatever. If anyone's got any bikes down there and projects they're working on, let me know as well. Be cool to have a look at it and chat with the builder themselves. So on that cheery note, we should maybe see some of you this weekend at the Bike Shed show. If not, stay tuned for the next installment, whenever that may be. And take it easy, folks. Ride safe.